This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Hi, this is Eric Rawls of Cosmoverse.com, and you're listening to Rob McConnell in the X-Zone.
Hi, this is Blade Runner, and you are listening to Canada's #1 paranormal radio show, The X-Zone, with Rob McConnell.
Hi, I'm Laura Sabrin of Feast to Fields Organic Vineyard in Jordan, and you're listening to Canada's #1 paranormal radio show, The X-Zone, with Rob McConnell.
Hi, my name is Lady Ashley, the White Witch of Niagara-on-the-Lake, and you're listening to Canada's #1 paranormal talk radio show, The X-Zone, with Rob McConnell.
Welcome to The X-Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
Welcome back, everyone. This is the X-Zone. I am Rob McConnell. You're listening to us around the world on the Starcom Radio Network. 1-800-610-7035, worldwide toll-free. Hit 0, brings you right into our studio. On all major social media sites, X-Zone Radio TV. My email address, xzone@xzoneradiotv, or during the show on air at X-Zone Radio TV. And you can listen to the X-Zone 7/24/365 at www.xzoneradiotv.com. And if you're somewhere way out there where you're having problems getting those bars to use your cell phone, your tablet, your laptop, and you really want to get your fix of the X-Zone, you can just stop at a payphone somewhere and dial 213-401-0080. That's 213-401-0080. Welcome back, everyone. As everyone listening to the show tonight on Thursday, June the 4th, is very much aware of, U.S. officials believe the recent hack of the federal employee data could be the biggest breach ever of the government's computer networks. Surprise, 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 right, X-Zone Nation? Officials initially said 4 million current and former federal employees may have had their personal information hacked. But the breach is beyond the Office of Personnel Management and Department of Interior, with nearly every federal government agency hit by hackers. And this is something new that the government just came out with around 8 o'clock tonight and revealed that information. An assessment continues, and it is possible millions more government employees may be affected. American investigators say they believe they can trace the breach to the Chinese government. Oh boy, here we go again. Just a couple of weeks ago, a surveillance plane flying over the sea came across these islands that the Chinese are building in the middle of the ocean in international waters, 600 miles from the shore of China. We now know that they've been hacking into databases, corporate and government. And the big question is, what are they going to use with all this data? What are they going to do with it? Nobody seems to know. Well, I've asked my good buddy Corey Kay to come on the show and try and help me make some sense of what's going on. He's a technical support and IT practitioner in Tampa, Florida. Now, prior to his technical support career, Corey worked in radio broadcast, network, satellite telecommunications industry. He holds a 1Z0051 in Oracle SQL. He's certified in interactive Python from Rice University and has a certificate in Android from the University of Maryland. Corey also earned his bachelor's degree from the University of South Florida and has a master's in business administration from Colorado Technical University. Corey brings a wealth of experience in all aspects of the new social media networks and multi-marketing platforms with solutions to everyone's problems when it comes to Internet, ISP, and technical problems and concerns. His website, XZoneTechZone.com. And Corey K., welcome back to the X Zone, old buddy.
Hey, Rob, it's good to be back.
Corey, you and I have talked about hacks many times. We talked about the one at Home Depot. We talked about the one at Target. We even mentioned a few, how about the White House? That was a goodie. But now we have more than 4 million current and former federal employees' information that has been hacked by the Chinese. What's going on, Corey?
Oh, boy, Rob, this is a big one. This is a real catastrophe, and I think the most shocking fact that the X Zone listeners should know about right off the bat is the Office of Personnel Management, which was attacked. Not only do they contain credentials of FBI officials and other government officials, they're sort of a central repository of government worker information, but they were also attacked last July. So not even a year ago, they were attacked by Chinese hackers. They should have been on red alert. Now, in last year's attack, they basically penetrated the system, but they didn't grab any personal information. But this time around, they actually grabbed social security numbers and other personally identifiable information. But they were attacked less than a year ago, so they should have been on red alert, and they were attacked again anyways.
What really scares me, Corey, is that this information that they've hacked today, or that we became aware of today, gives all the personal information of these government employees. Now, can you just imagine, with what's going on in the U.S. today with ISIS, if the Chinese gave that or sold that information to ISIS?
Yeah, exactly. Or other organized criminal elements. There's organized crime groups that could potentially, or at least in the past, they've gone after entire families. So if you sell personal information on these government workers and you threaten them with a group that could go after their families, that is just a major catastrophe.
Do we know if the information that's been hacked, Corey, also includes the witness protection people?
That I don't know for sure. The main group that's sort of at the forefront is FBI workers, because the system that was compromised, the eQuip system, it's E-QIP, that is a place where an FBI worker would apply for special security clearance. And I actually had a chance this evening to go to their information site, and just looking around at their website, I see that they use a lot of vulnerable technologies. They accept Adobe Reader documents for convenience, but Adobe Reader and Adobe in general is pretty much the most hacked and vulnerable group of applications out there. It seems like every single day they're finding a new weakness in Adobe, so much so that many browsers and Macintosh computers will put special restrictions on Adobe documents, especially Adobe Flash Player websites. So there's that. I can see just from looking behind the scenes at their website that they're using something called the Open Graph Protocol, which has vulnerabilities. They mention on their very own site that they did use OpenSSL at the time that the Heartbleed vulnerability was still active, and they say that Heartbleed didn't reach them at that time, but they are using that. And one last thing, they're using OpenTLS version 1, which is an older, less secure version of that software. It's supposed to encrypt data over the web, but last year, 2 years ago, really, someone came up with what was called the Lucky 13 attack, where they attacked that encryption technology. So just a simple perusal of their website, I found four different possible weaknesses.
But I thought the U.S. had implemented Einstein to protect the Einstein protocol to protect their databases, and isn't Einstein's main job is to monitor for large data dumps?
It is. So as far as how they could get around something like that, it's possible that they had a lot of workers or a lot of computers involved taking small bits at a time. And I even read one source today that said that the attack probably started in December, but they didn't notice it until April.
You would think that on a database of this importance that it would be closely monitored, especially, as you were saying, Corey, that this has happened before.
It has, very recently. So at this point, it's pretty much speculation as to which avenue the hackers used. Mm-hmm. But I think one high probability is that the attackers use forged digital signatures. And I know that the OPM, they use a digital signature verification service, and it's possible that service has a weakness that has not yet been published or discovered. And I think that's a likely point of attack. So as far as protecting yourself, if you're going to use OPM for now until more security measures are put in place, I would recommend anybody use a digital signature verification service. And one such service is called GPG, or the New Privacy Guard. They have a digital signature verification service that you can actually use to verify that a digital signature is good. And if you find errors in the certificate, that's a tip-off that you may have downloaded a forged digital signature. But the sad news is, even though you can use GPG for verifying a digital signature just for your own protection, I don't recommend using it to make your certificates, because GPG itself has been found to have weaknesses that can be hacked.
Wow. So Corey, during your research on this topic, did you find, or did anything come up that would point to why China is doing this?
Not at all, really. I know that China is on the rise right now, and just as we've seen in the past, any nation on the rise will use any method at its disposal, any technology at its disposal to at least protect, if not expand, their own political position. So it's not surprising that this is happening. What is a bit disconcerting is that talks between the U.S. and China have broken down over the last year, because in trade talks and everything else, will point out these hacks to them, and they will point to evidence that they've gathered on their side that the U.S. was involved in hacking a Chinese website. So it's a very tense topic right now.
So this is more like corporate espionage on a major scale.
Yeah, major scale. Yeah. And I think because each party has a lot to gain by maintaining their trade partnerships, they're not really going to push this issue. I don't think that anyone out there is going to say, if we don't stop cyber attacks completely 100%, then we're going to sever all trade ties with you. I just don't foresee that happening.
But you know what? I would love to see trade ties cease with China. I would welcome that with open arms. That would mean more Americans and more Canadians could find jobs.
Oh, yeah. There are definitely people who would like to see that happen.
Yeah.
And I don't see it happening in the near future. So in the meantime, I think we just have to educate ourselves, and I hate to say this, but we almost have to stay 3 steps ahead of the hackers to protect their information now.
It's ridiculous, Corey. We also have China now in the middle of the ocean in international waters reclaiming land. And when a U.S. surveillance flight went over the area that is in international airspace, they were challenged by the Chinese Navy. This is getting crazy.
It is. If any Star Trek fans are out there, it's sort of like they're crossing the Romulan neutral zone, and we're trying not to cross it.
Wait a sec. Is it my imagination, or do the Chinese actually look like Romulans?
Oh boy, you've opened up a can of worms there.
Would I do that? Would I open up a can of worms?
Absolutely.
You're damn right. You're darn right. Maybe the premise of Star Trek had nothing to do with outer space, but maybe it's about what's happening on this planet here that Gene Roddenberry was pointing out to everybody, using outer space as a stage, platform, theater.
Oh yeah, I think he's a visionary. He was well before his time, and oh man, we're seeing it all now.
Yeah, he brought a lot to television. The first interracial kiss between Uhura and Kirk. Remember that one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I wonder if they knew at the time that Sulu was a little strange.
They didn't know.
No, eh? Oh. Do you remember that Star Trek gay episode we used to play?
Oh, yes. I think I do. It's been a while, but I remember it.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll play it at the bottom of the hour just for you, my friend. No, wait a minute. That didn't sound right. That didn't sound right. No. I'm going to play that because way back when we were with another network, our listeners really liked it. And you used to laugh whenever I played it, so that's what I meant.
Well, I appreciate it.
Oh, gosh. So, once again, Corey, when you look at the size of the American government, what they're capable of doing, how in the name of God do they allow themselves to get hacked? I don't understand that part.
Yeah, there is a saying in the security field that security is hard, and it's just to give you an idea how difficult it can be. Mm-hmm. I talk to federal government workers all the time, and we provide technical support for them, and sometimes I can't deliver the fix that they need directly to them right away because their security restrictions forbid it. So I can't send them files through FTP. In some cases, I can't deliver anything over a network at all. And when we send a technician, in some cases, the technician's bag has to be searched in and out of the facility. They have to be a U.S. citizen. They have to be monitored while they're on the repair. They can't bring in any part that's not on the agreed-upon list that was pre-approved on the work order. We have to go through yearly training on protecting customers' personal data. And if you look at Equip, the OPM's one of their systems that was compromised, if you look at their list of security restrictions, it's enormous. It's pages and pages of security restrictions. So all this energy has been spent and all these procedures are in place, but still I guess networks are just inherently vulnerable, and hackers, they keep finding a way in. So we just have to remain ever vigilant.
I was listening to one report on CNN today where this CEO of a company that has a large computer network actually hires another company to try and hack into their system as a preventative way of stopping hackers.
Yeah, that's right. You basically hire a hacker to keep them out. It's like the old principle: it takes a thief to catch a thief.
Yeah.
But that is something done on a regular basis. I myself am, at some point in the near future, I'm pursuing a certificate in digital forensics that could allow me to be one of those people that try to hack into systems. So.
Hey, Corey, you and I have to take a break at the bottom of the hour. Exonation, the one and only Corey K. is my special guest this hour. www.exonetechzone.com. When we come back, Corey and I are going to be discussing Planet Serpo and much more. After all, this is the X Zone, a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. And we come to you Monday through Friday, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern, live and around the world on the Starcom Radio Network. As I say, X Zone Nation, if you want to listen to real radio with a radio legend, Ed Till Show, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. until 5 p.m., exclusively worldwide on the Starcom Radio Network. Corey K. and I will be back on the other side of this short break. And what we'll do is, I will keep my word. I'm going to play Star Trek, The Lost Gay Episode, as we continue with yours truly, Rob McConnell and Corey K. on the Starcom Radio Network. Don't go away.
Mr. Spock is much stronger than the ordinary human being. Aroused, his great physical strength could kill. But it's a risk I'll have to take.
Something bother you, Mr. Spock?
May I say that I have not thoroughly enjoyed serving with humans. I find their illogic and foolish emotions a constant irritant.
Unlike you, we humans are full of unpredictable emotions.
Love. Tenderness.
Yes.
If I seem insensitive to what you're going through, Captain, understand. It's the way I am.
Don't be afraid. Here's my hand. Hold on.
You are beautiful. More beautiful than any dream of beauty I've ever known.
What is your point, Mr. Spock?
I love you. I can love you.
Kiss me. You're out of your mind.
The prospect appeared quite attractive to you a moment ago.
You don't really want to hurt me, do you? Put that thing away.
No, I don't think so.
No! I can.
It's painless and quick. Entry made by Second Officer Spock.
Possible we may have hit the wrong entry point.
Yes. Very well, Captain.
Try again.
If it pleases you.
What are you waiting for? Hurry!
If you'll excuse the intrusion, Captain.
Bury the hatchet.
An appropriate choice of terms, Captain. I won't fight you anymore.
I feel so weak. I'll be glad when this is over.
I'm behaving disgracefully.
Believe me, Mr. Spock. It was painful. In more ways than one.
Aye, sir.
Captain's log supplement. I've seen a part of myself no man should ever see.
I don't know why I have not been infected.
Thank you, Mr. Spock.
My name is Michael Telstar, Canada's leading mentalist from Toronto, Ontario.
Hi, my name is Splenda, and you're listening to my dad, Rob McConnell, on the X-Zone.
This is Psychic Dorothy from St. Catharines, and you're listening to Rob McConnell.
Hello, my name is Holly Reeves, an astrologer from Astro For You, and you're listening to Canada's #1 paranormal radio show, The X-Zone, with Rob McConnell.
Welcome to The X-Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
Welcome back, everyone. Corey K is my special guest. We're talking about, in the first part of the show, we talked about the massive government computer hack that is going to affect more than 4 million federal employees. Before we get on to the planet Serpo, Corey, did you listen to the Baby Foofy astrology report?
I sure did.
What do you think we should do? Should we keep her, or should we put her out to pasture?
I say Baby Foofy stays.
Okay. You know, I kind of like it. You know, she works around the office during the day. She makes a mean cup of coffee. You know, she's pretty good with the vacuum cleaner. You know, she also keeps the windows nice and clean. And all she wants to do is read an astrology report. If a dad can't do that for his kid, what can a dad do, right?
That's right. I even understand Baby Foofy might have her own website somewhere.
Actually, she does. It's babyfoofy.com, and she did a Christmas CD. What can I say? The kid's inventive. She wanted to earn enough money to buy the family Christmas gifts with her own money. So, being the great parents we are, we decided to give her all the support she needs. Speaking about family, how's your son doing, Corey?
Oh, he's doing great. Yesterday was his last day of school for the school year.
Wow.
And he is crossing over into the 7th grade.
Wow. What's he want to be when he gets out of school?
You know, it is all over the board, but he has been interested in everything from geothermal energy to space explorer to Minecraft programmer. It's all over the board. Really neat stuff, and some of the stuff I didn't even know about when I was a kid.
Speaking about space stuff, did you? I think I sent you the article about the flying saucer-shaped spacecraft they're sending to Mars.
Yes, that is the most wonderful thing I've ever heard of. All these years we have heard of reports over our own skies, and now we're actually going to another planet, and we're going to be the ones sending the UFOs.
Yeah, exactly. And here's a question that I'm posing to the worldwide Exo Nation on the Starcom Radio Network. If you believe in reverse engineering that is going on based on alien technology, why are we having to send a spacecraft that we are creating on this planet that looks like a UFO to Mars if we already have their technology?
It doesn't add up.
It doesn't. So tell me, Corey, you and I talked off air like we usually do. And by the way, Exo Nation, for those of you who have just joined us on the Starcom Radio Network, Corey used to be my producer for many years. So we've become close friends. We've had the pleasure of meeting each other, and we've stayed friends over the years. And we talk a lot because Corey and I share some of the same interests. And it's always good for me to be able to talk to someone outside of the box. And Corey and I have been doing this for years. And when I got off air with Len Kasten last week, and Len was talking about planet Serpo, and this is where apparently in 1965 the United States government trained 10 or 12 military astronauts for a 350,000 light-year trip to planet Serpo. Now, I don't buy the story. Once again, it's one of those stories that really has no proof. And here, I'll just give you the nutshell of it, okay? I believe that Planet Serpo, like many other people, is just a science fiction fantasy launched as though true onto several UFO-orientated web forums going back to November 2005. Gullible researchers, UFO researchers such as Bill Ryan, Kerry Cassidy, and Linda Moulton Howe, were totally bamboozled by this fiction. And it was my guest the other night, Len Kasten, who swallowed the whole story so completely that he wrote a book about it. And as late as December 2014, the yarn was retold as true on several overnight radio shows, except when Len came on the X-Zone last week, and I challenged him. And he was surprised that I would actually challenge him. He said, well, what do you want? I said, proof. He said, so you're not going to believe in UFOs and the planet Serpo until everybody else does. I said, what's wrong with that? Show us the proof, we'll believe. Like, Corey, I've said this many times, I want to believe, but I want to see the proof.
That's right. And I just couldn't believe it because he kept going back to this. He was like, there you go with the proof again, going back to the proof. And I just was thinking to myself, I'm like, yes, we have to have proof. I am not a robot. I do not believe things blindly. I need to have facts. I need to have evidence. I need to have proof. And somehow that just didn't compute with him, which might go a long way to explaining why he is so into this topic.
But, last night we had Lieutenant Colonel Kevin Randall on, and Kevin, in my opinion, is one of the most authoritative and respectable, credible UFO researchers out there. The guy is Lieutenant Colonel. He is a former military police officer. He knows what he's talking about. Plus, he has a PhD, for God's sake. I asked him about Planet Serpo, and he said, I don't buy it. I didn't buy it. And yet there are so many people out there who swallow this crap, including, this threw me for a loop, the Honorable Paul Hillier, the former Defense Minister and Deputy Prime Minister of Canada.
Now, is that the same former defense minister that built the monument? I think it was in St. Albert's or.
Oh, you mean the UFO landing platform that was built for a Centennial project? The same one.
Yeah. Oh boy.
The same one. Now, speaking about Mr. Hellier, he did a great job as a politician. I have a lot of respect for him during his tenure under Lester B. Pearson, as well as when he was under Pierre Elliott Trudeau, our Prime Minister after Pearson. And when he was on the show, I respect him. I do. But I was asking him about when he was in charge of the Canadian Defence Forces, as the Minister of Defense, did he ever get any reports or any information that would substantiate claims of UFOs over Canada? And he said no. He only became interested in the UFO phenomenon after he retired and started reading books on it.
Oh boy. Part of me wonders with the culture of secrecy that existed and probably still exists in government agencies. I wonder if it just drives the employees paranoid, because he's not the first ex-politician that I've heard of that is a strong believer in UFOs.
Yeah. But I find it very strange that I basically built a timeline for him from 1947 until present time, giving the opportunity for him to say, well, yes, I received a report about this, that, and the other thing. It was only after he left. And to me, that says, well, wait a minute, you were the Minister of Defense. How come you didn't know about this if it was real?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, Corey, what did you find out about Planet Serpo?
Well, not much on the Planet Serpo itself, just a lot of theories. I do find it interesting that on 6 is
Whoops, it seems like we're starting to lose you, Corey. Get back here.
Oh, let's try again.
There you are.
Maybe you can hear me now?
Yes, I can.
All right. Well, I'm thinking one of these skeptics is Julian Assange of WikiLeaks fame.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he is one of the skeptics. I was under the impression that after this massive dump of government data and data from around the world, that we would finally have some previously inaccessible information about UFOs. And prior to the release, there was a lot of speculation that there was information about UFOs in the WikiLeaks dump. But sadly, when you take a look at it, there was one reference to UFOs by a Lithuanian politician, and there was one passing reference to UFOs by a Japanese politician. But this wasn't evidence. These were just statements from the officials that they were believers in UFOs. With all of the discoveries and all the information that was dumped, not one shred of evidence emerged. And Julian Assange, who earlier, prior to WikiLeaks, had at least expressed an open mind that yes, aliens and UFOs probably exist. After examining the evidence, he himself has become deeply skeptical, and he said that basically at this point
Well, we're losing you again, Corey. Corey?
He's highly...
Oh, there you are.
Yeah. Sounds like a choppy connection tonight.
Yeah, pull the string on the can a little tighter. Come on, Corey, you can do it.
That's right.
There, you did it. You did it.
But he said, we bet the UFO crowd will go gaga once they hear about this new wiki thrust. They need something, anything to keep their delusion alive. So keep in mind that WikiLeaks and their dump, it only represents a subset of more recent years. It doesn't have older information, but even Julian Assange doesn't believe.
I was saying to a guest the other night that the best thing that ever happened to ufology to prove the non-existence of UFOs or extraterrestrials was Bill Clinton's affair with Monica Lewinsky. Because if the President of the United States cannot have a presidential affair within the confines of the most secured and protected building in the United States, the White House, without the entire world finding out months later, how in the name of God are you going to hide a crashed UFO and 3 dead aliens?
Yeah, and much less claim that President Eisenhower turned down a deal with them.
Yeah. You know, like all these different stories about Kenneth Arnold and his sighting, and then we've got the Roswell crash of 1947, and the list goes on and on and on. You've been watching people for many years, Corey. Why do you think that there's this need, this desire for aliens to come down and save the world, if that's what they're here to do?
I think that people, in a sense, they are looking for a savior. But I think if you go back further, even if you look at the Bible or other religious texts, it seems like archivists of hundreds of years of human history have shown that people go through phases, and they'll go through phases where they believe in a strong leader, and they'll go through phases where they believe in a cattle god. So I don't know. As throughout human history, it seems like we need to believe in this strong force, and for some people, aliens are one of them.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this: I'm not saying that aliens don't exist and that UFOs don't exist, although maybe they haven't reached our atmosphere yet. But I'm just always astounded at the logical leaps that some of the believers will follow. Just to give you one example, after Julian Assange came out and basically said that WikiLeaks has no evidence pointing to the existence of aliens or UFOs that we have found, the believers, the UFO believers, they turned it around and said that Assange was holding back the information just in case he was ever captured so that he could use it against the government that captures him to secure his freedom.
Wow. I was speaking to somebody this week who was telling me that the President of the United States has two briefcases. One are the launch codes, and the other is all the information pertaining to extraterrestrials.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and then you see these you can't even call them photographs, for God's sake, of these blurred images that people are calling UFOs. With all the technology we have available today, Corey, the high-definition cameras, all the cell phones have high-definition cameras in them and night shot. Still, there has not been the smoking gun, and Len Kasten is right. Here we go with the proof again. I want proof. I think that the rest of the world, besides the UFO community, wants truth as well. And because they've cried wolf so many times in the past, you know, it's like, oh, yeah, sure, yeah, we believe you. Not.
Well, consider this statement. I'm reading from weirdparanormalnews.blogspot.com, but it says, it doesn't take a genius to figure out that such information, and that's information about UFOs and aliens coming to light, could cause public outrage, panic, and upheaval. Governments could literally crumble or be completely transformed almost literally overnight. But what I see with Julian Assange, here's a person, I don't know him personally, but I don't think he has a huge problem with governments toppling.
Exactly. Exactly.
And why would he hold on to this information?
You know, let's say that Mr. Putin or the Chinese government wanted to really cause problems. And you know, the UFO question, the truth embargo, the conspiracy theories have been around since 1947. Can you imagine if they hacked into a government computer, found evidence that the government had been lying to the people and released it? Has that happened? No.
Not at all.
Yeah.
We've discovered quite a lot. Think about it. We discovered files about FBI programs against activists in the 60s. We've uncovered evidence of selling arms to Nicaraguan drug lords, all kinds of good stuff, but nothing definitive regarding alien presence.
The desire for these people to be part of something, I think, is also what drives the UFO community. Because they're part of an organization. They're part of a similar mindset. They all believe in the same. It's like a cult.
It is. But speaking of cults, the Scientologists, do you have an opinion on them?
Ron Hubbard's group?
Yep.
You know what? I've had people on the show who are Scientologists who became whistleblowers, and of course that's when you're hearing a story that somebody has an axe to grind, so you don't get both sides, you don't get all sides of the story. From what I know, it's another philosophy out there. I haven't heard of the Scientologists decapitating people or blowing up things. It wasn't the Scientologists that flew into the Twin Towers or into the Pentagon. So they're guaranteed their rights. So I don't know. I worry about ISIS. Well, they scare the hell out of me. You know, and in fact, we're trying to get Pamela Geller on the show so that she can have her forum, her platform, that she can just tell the people what she wants instead of going on to these different network shows and being shut up by the hosts.
Oh boy. Yeah, let's get her on there. This is the place where people dare to be heard.
That's right. That's right. So what's your take on Scientology?
I guess they worry me. I do see them as a cult. I see them as financial exploiters, but because of their air of secrecy, it's hard to really gauge that. And I suppose, although I'd be hard pressed to believe it after all these decades and centuries, but I suppose somebody can make similar claims about the Amish and
exactly
closed society. It's hard to get in there to find out.
You know, if you want to talk about money grab with religion, just watch the 700 Club with Pat Robertson.
There you go.
You know?
There you go.
Ernest Angley, Jimmy Swaggart, the PTL Club. You know, you go to church, they pass the little, the collection plate around, and the richest corporation in the world, Corey, as you know, is the Catholic Church, the Vatican. The Pope is the chairman, CEO. The cardinals are the board of directors. And everyone who goes to church and puts money in the pot are the shareholders.
Yeah, that just goes to show how deep that, whatever that human need is for something greater really is.
Well, it's no worse than people, paying $1.50 or $2 or $3 a minute to speak to a psychic, for God's sake. What are you going to do? You're going to go to a psychic who reads from a script and base your hope on that? False delusions. I don't know. I really don't know.
Education. Let's educate ourselves.
That's what we have to do, Corey. That's exactly what we have to do. Whether it's, religion. Religion, I love the concept of religion. I really do. The 10 Commandments are perfect rules to live by. However, I think as the years went on and more people got involved into the religious organization and saw the ability of it to be a cash cow, greed set in. Why doesn't the church sell all their property and feed the hungry, clothe the people who need clothes, work with the government, give money to the government to build homes for the homeless? What does the church need all these properties for? All these, my God, in Montreal, the Montreal Stock Exchange Tower in Place Victoria is owned by the Vatican.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, the building. And at one time, the Vatican was a major shareholder in the Hyatt hotel chain.
Oh, I had no idea. Interlocking directorate.
It's just ridiculous. And then you see these poor people on the street who are sleeping on pieces of cardboard over heat vents. They beg for money. They beg for food. I'm sorry. They ask for money. They beg for food. No matter if it's a child, a man, a woman. What are we doing wrong? And if aliens are really out there watching us, why the hell don't they step in and make it better?
Yeah. That's a good question, too. Yeah, people get arrested now for feeding the homeless.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah, a Colorado school teacher got fired also in the last couple of weeks for buying kids' lunches at school.
That is ridiculous. That's a crime. That's a shame. People helping people, you get arrested? You lose your job? What the hell is this world coming to?
Set priorities. But before we go, speaking of educating ourselves,
yes,
we may soon be educating ourselves on Windows 10 systems. Microsoft announced that on July 29th, they're going to release Windows 10, and if you are running a legitimate copy of Windows 7 or higher, you might have noticed a notification in the lower right-hand corner of your screen, and I just wanted to let everybody know that that notification is not the actual update. It is just preparation for the update, so you know that it's there and it's coming. But click on it, get prepared, and July 29th is the real release date.
So you mean we're going to have to learn another operating system thanks to the people at Windows?
I have good news this time. This is an improvement over Windows 8. In fact, I think we'll be doing a lot of forgetting. Forget what you knew about Windows 8. We're leaving that behind. This is much closer to Windows 7. A few new features. It's easier to set up VPNs, and there are just some nice features, but the look of it and the general operation is going to be much closer to XP and 7 and what we were used to there.
Hey, Corey, the time has come when you and I must say so long for tonight, my friend. You'll be back in a week or so with us as we do more updates on the hacking, computers, and just having a good talk with a good friend. So until then, my best to you, the family, and George the cat.
Meow. Thank you so much, Rob.
Take care, Corey. Corey K, www.exonetexon.com. Well, that's it for tonight, everyone. I'll be back tomorrow night at 8 o'clock as once again we cross the time-space continuum to this place that I call the X Zone. So until then, always remember to keep your eyes to the sky and your heart to the light. It's that simple. It's that plain. Have a nice evening, everyone.